Look, people are here.
Oh my goodness. People
Hey,
actually want to see us.
We're at Cheryl's mom's house, and Cheryl was going to set us up where it was going to look like we were at a prison again.
So I got vetoed, so now we're in the...
She got wavy. So look,
Now-
tropical. If you were somewhere cold, enjoy the palm tree. The lighting is not great, but we've done our best DIY lighting, so
Yeah.
you're just here to listen to us yammer on anyhow, right?
Yeah, so we're in the breakfast nook.
The breakfast nook. We're so fancy. Elizabeth and Vegan Knowledge JJ, Healthy Eating for Happy Life. I'm the worst with names. Her name is
Carlene.
Carlene. Thank you. Jenny Lee is here. Yay. Apple's here. And Nikki.
Hey.
Lisa, welcome.
Nikki's right around the corner.
Oh, you are. We are in Ocala today.
Marion County. We're in Ocala, but like closer to Marion County. She'll know where that is.
Okay, I'm glad she does. I often don't know where I am, and I love it when, with all this traveling, people have been saying, and where are you going? And I'm like, the Caribbean?
Lady Lake's closer to
Europe?
the villages.
Okay. Oh, Robin's here, and Lydia as well. Lydia,
Yay.
It was good to see you on Instagram. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words. We haven't been doing Motivation Your Monday.
Mostly because we have a really, really hard time getting internet unless we're in port on the ship.
And we haven't been in port on Monday. So one of the things that we're going to do, planning up for things, because I think that coming up, Cheryl's going to do a recording, like a recorded video, maybe a shorter one. And then what we're going to do is, if we can, be in the chat. Because even so far, at least on Virgin and Celebrity, if we don't have internet good enough to stream, we still have internet good enough to be in the chat. Does that sound like a good kind of in-between to you guys?
Yeah.
And I see Linda and Christine and Hydran. Yay! The gang's all here. So, and Jill, excellent. So, one of the things that I was thinking we could talk about too is, I know everything can be so overwhelming, and we are going to be doing the monthly positivity circle, so please be sure to come to that. And if we're having a little space, just go ahead and maybe watch one of those or one of the old Motivate Your Mondays. Not that there isn't other content you can't consume.
Right.
Obviously, just go out and look for some real positive content.
Go back and look at some of the positivity circles with Sangeeta. Did you already say that? Oh, sorry.
We are off sync today, just so you know. We are normal people, and that happens. So I keep telling we can talk about that within Motivate Your Monday too. Maybe we'll motivate my Monday as well. I think we're a little tired. Kind of coming back into the world. I know also probably that the Pope passed is a struggle for some people as well. I am not Catholic, but Cheryl was raised Catholic. So I know that. And
my mom's a little concerned about their trip to Rome next month. She's worried that maybe they won't be able to get to the Vatican like she was hoping because of crowds and stuff, but I'm thinking they'll probably have all that wrapped up before they even get there. So
in other words, Cheryl's parents are going to Italy for like a big trip. Like they usually do one really cool trip a year and some other smaller trips. We're trying to talk them into a cruise. I started last night.
Yeah, I don't think she was getting very far.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Mom's all like, I like the 300 people cruises.
Yeah. And I think I'll like the 300 people cruises. So she was talking about going on a Viking ship. But anyhow, oh, Apple, I'm so sorry if that's how you heard. Yes, the Pope died today. I looked at the news and I was like, well, that's strange. Aw, Robin, thank you so much. Robin says, thanks for sharing all of your travels. It's appreciated. That's really good for us to know.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we're trying to do it mostly on the other channel, I'm doing a little overlap while we're building up that channel, is just because everything that we're eating isn't no oil.
Mm-hmm.
And on this channel, we try to put emphasis on that. Obviously, or maybe not so obviously, obvious to me, perhaps not obvious to everyone. When we travel, we can't always get whole food, plant-based, no oil.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what I do is kind of to try and get ideas to bring over and remake for our whole food, plant-based, no oil world.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, nice about I figured that, Jenny. I looked and I was like, And then I was like, no, she means about them going to Rome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good that you clarified in this day and age of people being a little bit cranky, right? Which is, I think Motivate Your Monday isn't as much about everybody being cranky. It's more about you being cranky or taking things in that maybe you could leave on the table.
Elizabeth, MSC maybe not able to have internet to chat. That's true.
You never know.
Oh, it could be better.
Yeah, MSC is a little bit hinky. Okay. And Elizabeth said it's good to see us on a Monday again. So why don't you how has travel been affecting you, and is it something that you need some motivation about?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm actually been doing really good the past couple weeks as far as I feel like I've been eating well.
Mhm.
And
we really did eat well on Virgin. It's pretty easy to eat well.
I feel like I did a fairly okay job avoiding junk. I didn't hit the junk food up first. I ate good meals first.
Mhm.
I did have some vegan ice cream and stuff like that, but.
And also, what's kind of funny, because we did find a vegan ice cream place that I wanted to try, and we were so used to being on the boat, and we would get 2 scoops. And honestly, they're 2 little tiny scoops. And then we were like, oh yeah, we'll get 2 scoops. And they were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? 1 scoop was 3 scoops of what we had before.
Yeah.
And so there is a little bit about being on the boat and knowing what your parameters are, and then kind of coming off, because we were there for 14 days. Yeah. We got a lot of exercise. We took the steps. I will say yesterday we were running errands and things. We were off the boat running errands, and I didn't feel like I got as much movement in the past 2 or 3 days.
No.
Today we ran some more errands, and so I walked.
You walked from one end of that place to the other.
Yeah, but it's not going to make 3 miles.
No. We can go walk after this if you want.
Oh, you guys can barely hear us? It's on the MacBook microphone. Okay, is this any better? Oh, it does look like it's
wimpy.
Is this better or not? Hydrin? The volume is fine. Okay. It is a little bit softer. Sorry. Okay. People are saying you have to turn up the volume a little bit more. We can talk louder too.
Yeah.
I just feel like you guys are right in front of me, so I didn't want to scream. Okay.
Okay. That's good.
So being on the boat, we walked around a lot. We took the steps.
Even when it almost killed us to take the steps with heavy backpacks on our back, we still took the steps.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk up a little bit more. Project towards there. You don't have to yell or anything or sit up straight, but
okay.
Because they were saying it was a little bit better when we moved closer. You have yours on max volume. Okay. We'll see how this does.
I can add microphones if we want to add a microphone.
Where are they?
Right here.
It's on. Usually watch it at 10 to 15. And it's on 45. That's so strange. This is the same computer we went live on from the boat. But it could possibly, no, it shouldn't be from that. Cheryl's setting up some microphones. So I think we have to plan better with not being on the boat and getting exercise. Now, this coming week, we've got 3 days that we're spending in Orlando. And so that means we are, okay, other people are saying nothing's wrong. So I don't know, but we can do those anyhow. Cheryl's setting it up. Okay. And then probably you're going to be like, Kathy, you're yelling at me. There's sometimes I look at what we have done and I feel like I'm yelling right at you.
I feel like this is on. Hold on.
Okay. So let's I just got up from a nap, so if I seem a wee bit confused, that could be very possible.
All right, so you have to change that to...
It's not showing here as an option. Okay, other people are saying there's nothing wrong.
Plug it in on the other side.
It may not pick it up in the middle. Let's see. Source, camera, mic.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, everything's fine, you guys. We'll figure it out. I don't know what you want. You're just pointing in a general direction. Cranky Kathy is in the house. She had a nap, and I ate too much salt, I think, a couple of days ago, and I'm a little bit swollen, and I think that makes me a little bit crabby.
Input.
It's not picking it up.
It is not picking.
However, it's
up.
showing that it's there. Let's just pull it closer to ourselves instead of having 30 minutes of us just trying to put mics together.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not picking that up.
And we're closer. So hopefully this is all good. Is this better for you, Hydran, at all? And Elizabeth, did you have to turn down your TV at all? It does look like it's not going up as high as it usually does on the sound levels.
And it's weird the way it looks in the sound too. I don't know. I wonder if there was an update or something.
There's no... What happens if we... if we use echo cancellation, I think then that comes back up. Is this better? Is this louder? Am I shouting at you? I don't know any of this. I just feel like I'm like,
hello.
But this looks better when I...
Yeah. That looks lots better.
And it looks like we're coming closer to yelling at you.
Which we don't want to do.
No, I don't want to yell at you. Okay. Hydran, let us know. And I'm trying to get you back to that beachy, breezy place. Okay. I don't know. Okay, let me move this back down, which is what I usually have. We didn't have echo cancellation on the other times, I don't think. Whoa, super loud. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm yelling at you. Sir.
Weird.
Okay.
That's weird because we don't usually have that on.
Okay, let's get back.
Okay, now we can go back a little bit. Ooh.
Am I going to...
If you could see the stack of books and things that we're balancing on, it's like...
See, it doesn't make any sense.
Go this way.
I am.
Okay. There.
That's a lot further. Every time I'm moving, it's like 6.
It is like a lot further, isn't it?
You know?
Let's
Hello.
just...
How are you? Back down to 10 now. Okay. Yay! Here. Woo!
We finally did something together today. Sort of. We've been like missing connection all day.
Well, and the last time, it's not as bad as it was when we traveled 2 years ago.
Yeah. Where
it took us 6 to 8 weeks to kind of get ourselves back regulated. So maybe we should talk about how Cheryl for the win. Terry, Miss Terry is here. Yay. Okay. And Vigana and Debbie. Hi, Miss Debbie. How are you doing? I knew you would be happy that we did this. And you guys have to let us know too. We did get some like, hey, where have you been about Motivate Your Monday? And so that,
Yeah.
if you let us know, and you can always email support@healthyslowcooking.com, which gets you Cheryl. Kathy Hester at gmail.com, which gets you me, which I don't know why I think that's easier to remember than something else. But if you email one of us, probably both of us will know.
If you throw either one of us our first and last name at Gmail, you'll probably get us. So.
I like this. Jenny says, at this point, my husband and I would be swearing. Are you seeing all the librarian looks, the angry librarian looks? That's how it starts. That's how it starts. So
and I was so proud of myself because I got everything like almost together before you even got up.
Which I find very funny because I've opened
That's
everything
because
here and
I
I've
had
done all the lighting.
I had it ready to go outside.
Okay. She wanted us to look like we were in prison again. Oh, that's awesome. So Debbie says, good to see you too. She let us know we had a chat last week. I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Time is a mystery to me right now. And she has to lose 17 pounds before she can get a surgery. And she's down 2 or 3, which
That's awesome.
That's only in 1 week. That's amazing. And make sure to look in the chat because people are cheering you on. And my husband and I start as angry librarians. Well, what happens is I get the look and then she starts being more spacey. This is how it always works. And she's like, what? Huh? And I'm like, and sometimes, we can just air our dirty laundry too. So like sometimes when we're packing, she has a problem. And one of the problems is that I need to sleep the day before I travel, or I'm horrible.
And I don't care if I sleep.
Sometimes she stays up all night. She thinks it doesn't affect her at all. It doesn't affect her at all.
If I don't have to drive, I don't worry about if I stay up all night. However, if I have to drive, I do worry if I stay up all night. I try to get some sleep.
But it starts. That's where this starts. This. That's where it starts. So, Penny says, have you or anyone tried natto? Just wondering, gonna try some tonight. I have had some. Cheryl is never.
No.
I know she might when we're in Japan. She might try some. Who knows?
No.
It's a little hard for Americans, usually just because of the texture is something we're not used to, but it's really good for you. And Hydrants had natto. I bet some other people are too. Penny says you guys are my entertainment for the evening. That is awesome.
We can do that.
Here as we have couples therapy live on YouTube on Motivate Your Monday or mine. Yes, we are going for another trip. So I think some of it is that maybe I should use the I words. Apple, I'm thinking of you, need to kind of think a little more about what I want whatever trip to be and certain things that I want to do and kind of compartmentalize them a little bit more because I kind of felt like things got a little bit like, woo, when we did 2 back-to-back cruises and then came up here and then everything's been a little bit loosey-goosey. But we did have some really good vacation, which was nice. We actually had some vacationing. Okay. Chuck from Brand New Vegan did a video on natto, made it from scratch. Not going near it, says Vegana.
I'm with you. I'm not going near it either. No.
There's no way for me to say this really and be culturally sensitive, but it's kind of like, maybe I can. So like kanji. Kanji is also a texture. It's like rice gruel, which makes a lot of people shudder. but it's delicious. It's cooked with ginger and all that, but you're cooked with a lot of water and you really boil that down, right? And so it's kind of this thick. You do okay with congee,
Mhm.
but it is a weird texture to begin with.
Mhm.
Natto
I
was
didn't like it initially. I didn't like it at all. But then it kind of grew on me a little bit when you did the mushroom one.
yeah. If I find in general, if you have add lots of flavors to something, and that becomes the focal point instead of necessarily the texture.
Hmm.
That doesn't work with everything, but like with congee is such a it's such a comforting warm food. Like now that I'm talking about it, I really want some congee now. And I can't have it, I don't think. I don't think I have the things to make it here. But natto is cooked soybeans that are fermented, and it gets this kind of a gel, gluey substance. And when you do it, it like a cheese pull, only little cheese pulls. So for Americans, it looks like something if we saw in our fridge, we would choose not to eat because of the foods we typically eat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, even though it's fermented, it's if you some people eat tempeh last, right? Tempeh can be a little weird, a little bitter. Once you kind of get your tempeh groove on, though, now you can have all the slimy. That's a good word.
No.
Fermented soybeans, sticky. Okay, these are all good words because what I really want to say, and I'm going to say it anyhow, it kind of looks like there's soybeans mixed with mucus. And that's why it can be very hard. It's clear, we're healthy, right? But it is sticky, and a lot of times it's mixed with other things. In Japanese culture, it can be mixed with a raw egg, which just makes us not as happy. It can it the For me, the easiest way to eat it has been in a sushi roll. You just get a little bit of it, you get a little bit of rice, it makes it much more palatable. It's not a bad flavor or anything like that. Um, oh,
Why
mustard
you
and
want to hurt mustard and soy sauce
no,
like
no, no,
that?
no, it is supposed to help with the flavors and stuff because actually it looks like it's gonna have a very strong flavor, and it's a pretty mild flavor, so the soy sauce and mustard is really necessary to give it, like this. It's better not to look at it while eating it, and that's kinda true.
I'm not gonna have any of that. No.
Yeah, and Nikki says, "I'm not great with slimy." Yeah, and I mean, it's it's kinda just the way it again, it's like anything else, first, there was a time in your life probably that you were like, "I'm never gonna eat tofu." When I became vegetarian, I was like, "I'm not gonna be one of those tofu vegetarians." Right? We all have some sort of preconceived notion.
Like that lady on the boat. I'm not gonna eat that tofu cream.
Yeah,
Can I leave off that cream? It's
that
got
tofu
tofu
in
in
it.
it.
Right. Well, and Cheryl's being a little over the top, but it's hard when there's something we've heard isn't good or heard, like tofu, and like people think, oh, they put soy in my meaty burger and that's gross. I remember thinking that when I was very young. Ooh, is there soy in there? Because people would talk about it like it would make
Taco
it
Bell and McDonald's been mixing that stuff in forever.
right. But it's a different way of thinking. So that's one hurdle of food, right? Is overcoming our own programming around trying things. Like even with you were kind of like you didn't really like mushrooms, you didn't really like greens. There are a lot of the typical things people don't eat. And when you guys some of you saw the test kitchen video we just put up, which was such a fabulous meal
Mhm.
over on the Plant-Based Explorers. And some of the comments when we went in and did that live and we're in the chat was that Cheryl can't be considered a picky eater anymore.
I know.
But she
But I
can.
am.
It's just it's moved, right? It's moved a little bit from one section of things to another sections of things.
Didn't maybe I cut it out of the video where I had distinctly pulled onions out. Oh no, that's in the razzle dazzle video. You'll see me in my strategic onion picking out of my meal.
By strategic, she means she's going to take 15 to 20 minutes to pick every single piece of onion out of something before she begins to eat.
That
Um,
used to make my dad crazy doing that. I'd pick every little tiny little diced onion off of a cheeseburger at McDonald's, and he had to sit there and wait for me to do every single one.
Aw, thank you. I think we're a little red in the
Mm,
light, but I have more color than I've had in 20 years because
mm,
we've actually gone out in the sun a few times.
mhm. Yeah, we cannot be considered pasty white right now.
I'm sure it'll fade fast for me. It won't take long, but although now we are going to be back in the Caribbean in November, December, so who
Well, we'll
knows?
be in June too.
Yeah. I was just thinking I was getting
Oh,
ready to say by the end of the year we'll be pasty white again, but
no,
we may
we won't.
not. Um, and so let's see. So things like natto, tempeh, I would even consider, so like I see it this way. Tofu is a good entry food. People eat it the wrong way. Then we go, Dawn did this too. I'm never eating tempeh. And I was like, you should eat tempeh. All you need to do is just throw it in the air fryer. You'll like it. No, it's disgusting. And then a couple years later, oh, I love tempeh. Tempeh is great. And I think we all just kind of move a little step
Mhm.
on different things and trying different things and being more open minded. But like, there are things that I'm not going to be open minded about just because of my way of eating. Right? There's things I see like maybe that are eggs or another country's eggs that I wouldn't eat. So it's okay to have things and have aversions, and you don't have to push yourself. For instance, I'm not going to be giving Cheryl natto. However, I suspect in a world where we finally get to visit Japan, in that situation, she might see it a little differently. That's all. But yay, you for people who are challenging, your own sense of things. Because I think it can be kind of nice. Sometimes it's important because if you are a greens hater, greens are really good for you,
I used to hate greens.
right? And now you really like them.
Mhm. I
But
actually picked all the greens out and ate them out of my meal yesterday.
you did. It's true.
Yeah.
I was shocked, and it was a green she didn't even know. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's a Thai. We were at a Thai restaurant. It was an Asian green. I don't know the name of it."
Tasted like collards to me.
And she was like, "Okay, there we go." Um, okay. Carlene doesn't find it slimy, stringy, and I think it could depend on what part of fermentation or what part of the pot it comes in. That's a really good point too. Um, I'm going to skip around, Elizabeth. I'm going to get back to your question. I used to not even eat avocados, right? And you
I
eat
didn't like
raw
them either.
vegan. And I think that's the thing. Again, like when I think of things and I think of apple, I think of you. There's certain textures and certain flavors that just don't gel with you, and you choose not to eat them. And I support that 1,000%. Maybe as long as you don't live with me. No, no, if you lived with me, we would make allowances for sure. But with Cheryl, kind of like I wanted her to eat more healthy foods, so we kind of worked up on some of that. Oh, and Penny doesn't like okra because of the slime, you know. Oh, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna
If
be
I
a
can eat
world
okra,
end.
anybody can eat okra.
I love okra. Does the tea have a distinctive smell?
She might be talking about the natto.
I don't remember it having an offensive smell. Like it didn't smell super strong or super fermented. It just smelled kind of, like oh, it's been a while. I'll see if anybody else wants to. Uh, Don, Vegan JJ's wife takes the onions and loves them, and that's kind of what we do too. And there's a rule And there is a rule I heard, if you go to the Caribbean, it's a tradition to bring a friend named JJ. you guys, we're going to do a quick 4-day Halloween sailing. So talk to us.
Yeah, we need to send her an email about that
Yeah,
because that one you guys might really
you
be
might be
interested in.
interested in going. Um, oh, good. It was good to see Dr. Lemon Heather on. Excellent.
Mhm.
And we are going to be bringing, oh my God, Stacy, and
Oh.
we're going to be bringing other people on too. I'm just going to try and save that because now all I can think of is the name Heather.
That's
That's
all
all
I
I
can
say.
think of is
I
Heather.
just said
All I
Heather.
can see is
It's not
Heather.
Heather.
All I
Uh,
can see is Heather.
and so one of the support specialists, we're going to be hopefully trying to schedule that and getting people in for May and June, and then we'll be skipping July and August, most likely. Um, and Hydra says there are very few things I don't like eating: cooked spinach and okra. And see, I love cooked spinach. I grew up on canned spinach, and there is nothing nastier than canned spinach. If I had taken a bite of canned spinach as a kid and then you gave me natto, I would have liked the natto. I like, blah. Oh, you don't like cilantro? I love cilantro. In fact, I use cilantro like lettuce on a taco. Like, I do love it. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Oh, Miss Joanne is here. Hello. And then oh, thank you.
Tiffany. That's right. Because
Tiffany.
I just was about ready to say, no, it's Tracy. Tracy's going to be on.
Our brains are a little bit off
Tracy.
circuit today.
Tracy. That's the cross between Tiffany and Stacy. It's Tracy. So
Yeah,
Tracy will
Tracy.
be on.
Tanya says canned peas is nastier. Cheryl likes canned peas. And
I love any kind of pea and any
peas,
kind of bean.
I work at liking peas. There's certain things I do. I like the peas in the test kitchen. They're
Mhm.
smoked.
Mhm.
I can do peas in a biryani or rice dish or soup or stew, but they are not my favorite, which is funny that they're your favorite. And they're
I
like
love
that
peas.
and zucchini that's overcooked. Uh, It just like the
Is it
zucchini.
overcooked, the one that I like?
No,
Okay.
no. Um, but today we went to and had tofu hibachi, not at a place that did all the
It was basically just tofu with a hibachi, like a teriyaki type sauce on top of it, and they called it hibachi.
Yeah, so basically it's
It
like
was
a stir
it
fry.
was tofu and vegetable stir fry over steamed rice.
Yeah, and it was really, really nice.
Mhm.
And the vegetables were cooked well. There was some broccoli. The zucchini wasn't overcooked. Like when you see a zucchini and either they don't remove the seeds or the seeds just smush.
She doesn't like
I
that.
don't like that. And I
That's how
find
they
it
do it at that place at home
yeah.
sometimes. That's why you're always like, "Ew, I don't want to eat it."
And I find that it changes the taste that it when it gets a little overcooked, it's not just the texture. So one and I think you guys have seen me do this online, but also in some of my books, I have like a zucchini taco because when the zucchini comes in, it doesn't care if you like it or not. And so what I do is if it's smushy at all, I take out the seeds. If I've just picked a zucchini, then I'll cut all of it up small, saute it quickly with some chili powder or something like that. That takes the little weird taste that can happen if it gets slightly overcooked out for me. And then it's not crunchy, but it's toothsome. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Mhm.
And those turn out okay. A can of peas, Blitz and the Beast, a go-to a super quick soup meal.
Nice.
Absolutely. And this is really actually kind of a good conversation. Tanya says eggplant, and I get
It has to be just cooked just right for me.
Mhm.
Like I go back and forth on eggplant. Sometimes I can eat it and sometimes I can't. When we had it at the test kitchen in the tater tot shaped
It is tater
tater
tot,
tot shape.
and it's
This
not
last time
Mexican.
the last time that we had it was cooked so
Perfectly.
much better than the first time we had it.
It
And I think if Jessica would have been able to have it this time, I think maybe she might have liked it better.
it's very true. So sometimes even textural or taste things can be so interesting. And I think of them a lot of times as problems to be solved.
Mhm.
So I like eggplant. And so, like with eggplant parmesan, even if we're at a nice vegan restaurant, I want to know how thick it's cut.
Yeah.
Because if you give me a piece of undercooked eggplant, I'm not going to eat it. It's nasty.
You know, we never even ate at the Italian restaurant on the ship. The past 2 cruises, we didn't even go there because the only option is that eggplant
And it's not
parmesan.
bad. We did get it one time, and it was a couple of trips ago, and
It was okay. It was fine.
it
It
was fine.
was eggplant parmesan. I mean,
You know, I would get it. We would get it with less cheese.
mhm.
It had vegan day of cheese, and so it was a little bit too. You know, we don't like.
I don't understand. Like, it seems like a lot of times people who cook who aren't vegan and they don't understand how rich the vegan cheeses can be, and they go way too heavy on it, and then it just gets this, like, I don't know, like, I want to call it buttery richness. It's
It
almost
does.
like it makes your mouth go
It is kind of a buttery.
oily, just an
But
oily
it's
kind
almost
of.
like a buttery flavor. That's the difference
Mhm.
between having like a day of cheese versus like some of the others that don't have that.
It's like taking a spoonful of what's that butter we used to use?
Miyoko's butter.
No, not Miyoko's, the other one. There was another one that we used before that.
Earth Balance?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
taking a spoon of Earth Balance and eating it. Not good.
Yeah, not good for you. Carlene says, I've served the canned pea soup as an appetizer for fancy meal, and people always want the recipe. Yeah. You know, if you make a good soup, people just get really, really excited. Let's go back to.
We get really excited for a good soup.
Well, and one of my favorite soups, and actually it's in a book too, is I would make it for the Halloween party. I just make up a soup. And that year I looked in the pantry because I make it right before everybody comes. No idea what I'm gonna do. I had a can of refried beans, can of regular beans, and a few other things and spices, and it just turned out so good.
Mhm.
So Elizabeth's back here. Okay. How have you guys been eating since you've been off the ship? So we've been off the ship
2 days.
2 days.
Oh no, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
So today's day 2.
So yesterday.
No, Saturday. We got off
Saturday.
Saturday kind of was a bust. So I don't even remember what we did Saturday.
What did we do for? We ate on the boat. Oh, I know what we did. And we ate at Leguminati.
That's right. We did go to Leguminati.
So Leguminati is a vegan crunch wrap place in Orlando, which is not the ultimate healthiest thing to do. And but I was just really craving kind of that taco sort of thing. That's the one thing on the boat. They have vegetarian avocado tacos, but they don't really have any. So we really didn't have any Mexican food.
Mhm.
And
You had guacamole that one time.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Well, we do. There is food at Pink Agave. I guess I'm meaning like
Tacos or
kind
something.
of
Yeah, because you get the
American.
because you love that dish at Pink Agave. That
The potatoes and corn stuffed Rihanna
yeah, it's
poblano.
and it's like this big, like it's this giant pepper.
No, it's about this big.
It seemed longer. It seemed
No,
like that.
no, it's not. I'm sure of it because I was thinking of eating 2 that day. Oh, okay. Elizabeth says, "Oh, I'm jealous. That place is fire. It really is."
It is.
Um,
Enough that we went and got.
we have salads.
We have salads from there in the refrigerator for dinner tonight.
So here's kind of a tip too. Depending on what your wiggle room is with your with what you're eating in your eating plan. And that's between you and the doctor you follow. That has nothing to do with me. But like we could have some of those same flavors. Like they make their own cheese, kind of like a queso. It's pretty thick. They do have like crumbles and things like. I can make you a whole food plant-based, no oil class on this. The only thing that would be hard is you can't. If we did the crunch wrap, there aren't any large tortillas that don't have some oil in it.
Yeah.
But you can make it into a quesadilla. So I mean,
Yeah.
the world is not done with that. I keep seeing this crimper in Facebook. This it you put a flour tortilla in it. It's like a big giant dumpling thing, and it crimps it. It's not going to crimp none of my almond flour tortillas.
Didn't they have a thing like that that came out in the 80s that was like that little thing that you push down and it
Oh,
would
the sandwich
and it would
thing.
seal your
Yeah,
sandwiches?
yeah, it's exactly. Well, only it doesn't heat, so I think what it's meant to be used for are if you guys can eat wheat and you're sometimes have a flour tortilla that has some oil in it, they have the ones that you cook fresh. That's doughy. That would work in there really well.
Mhm.
How far off the subject are we going tonight? I'm so sorry you guys are having to deal with our and Elizabeth saying you could do a soup class. I think I have about 8 soup classes.
But we could do another
We can
one.
do, yeah, we can totally do another one. One that's really good in Kathy's Cooking Club. And you guys, I'm going to be putting a sale on Kathy's Cooking Club soon for my birthday. Hopefully, I'll have that up next week. And I would love for you guys to join. But I have this killer chilled soup class. And it's so good. I'm actually hopefully going to get some of those recipes up on the blog as well. Um, Elizabeth said she didn't know that leguminati. Plus, leguminati, is that not the best name that has ever
When I
happened?
said it out loud today, my mom just died laughing.
It's because legumes anati, and they have like the eye. It's so awesome. Said I didn't know they had salads. I've only had the crunch wraps. I've tried every single crunch wrap. Love the buffalo chicken one the most. And just so everyone listening, everything they have is vegan. It's just a vegan place. Um, oh, Elizabeth, don't be sorry.
No.
Oh, and anybody else, if you come and ask me, oh, I want a class on X, and I might send you a link to the class that exists, that doesn't mean we can't do it again. I've been doing these classes 5 years, 5 years now. So we're going to be redoing some things too. Um, and also, as the years go on, I have better ideas and I've experimented more and I can shortcut things a little bit more. So, what I think is the most brilliant idea ever this year, 5 years from now, I'm going to be like, why did you
And
think that was
also
so
when
great?
in our travels, she's always been getting a little inspiration and in places that you wouldn't expect her to find inspiration, but you've been finding
Oh,
like
yeah. Like in the test kitchen,
mhm.
they had kind of a tomato sorbet. So, I want to do like a gazpacho because on a hot for Ninja Creamy Pint. Yay! Hi, Angela. And Angela is going to eventually be back on the show. We just have not been able to find a date yet.
Yeah.
So, but what I would encourage you to do while we're out and about trying to figure out all of our lives is to go and watch some of the replays on this channel and
Yeah.
exercise with her. She's
Excellent.
incredibly knowledgeable. And especially if you're just kind of starting to exercise, she does really good um, modifications,
Mhm.
and she gives you a list of ailments that perhaps you shouldn't do that exercise. So it's a really nice way to kind of start off.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to the original tangent was what have we been eating? So we had a crunch
Crunch wrap.
wrap, and
And that was it. And then the next day,
well, no, and then we went to that ice cream place that we already
the ice
talked about,
cream place,
and I
yeah.
don't know the name of it. It was downtown. It was the coolest ice cream ever.
Was it something green something?
I,
The greenery? The greenery or something or green something?
I don't know. But the ice cream I had is for Earth Day, and they use natural colorings. I don't know if they use spirulina or what, but like it was swirled blue and green. And when they scooped it,
It
it
looked
looked
like a
like the
planet.
earth
It did.
on
It
my,
was
I mean,
very cool.
obviously not drawn to scale or anything like that, but more than just a swirl. And I
Yeah.
was really excited. And we walked around outside. It was getting a little bit chilly.
I can't even remember what kind I got.
You got
Oh,
strawberry.
the
Straw
dipped chocolate dipped strawberry is what they called it, but it was
Strawberry.
strawberry with pieces of Enjoy Life, little tiny chunks of like bits of Enjoy Life chopped up
Yeah, really, really
and
fine.
mixed in with it, and so it kind of gave you that chocolate and strawberry kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Nope, that was mine.
Okay.
Sorry,
Um,
I'll put it
I
on
don't
do
do
not
not
disturb.
disturb.
Maybe.
Okay, so we did that, and part of it, well, and that's really, we had eaten on the boat that morning. So most of the time, and especially on Virgin, you don't have to leave till like 10:15 or something. So
Yeah,
we
we
had
had our time was scheduled between 10 and 10:15. We were in the 10 to 10:15 slot.
so we had an 8 a.m. breakfast, and
And we were just like hanging out,
they
like
had like
getting
an
coffee.
acai bowl. They have vegan sausage, which I didn't eat. What else did I get? Sometimes I get, Cheryl's gotten before, just the potatoes, beans, and tomato. It's not the best breakfast they have. If you're on Scarlet Lady on Lucky Lotus, you can get the Asian rice noodles or dumplings as
Mhm,
well.
mhm. They have an
Um,
avocado toast too.
yeah, you've had the avocado
Mhm.
toast. Yeah, I'm laughing because
Elizabeth
Elizabeth's,
knows what we're talking about.
we're meeting Elizabeth tomorrow night for dinner in Winter Park, and she goes, "It's not too far from the Winter Park Biscuit Company," which is an all vegan place as well. So I guess what I would say is we are we are free feeding a little bit.
Yeah, but we're not eating like but
Well,
we're not eating a lot. I mean like we're eating.
I feel like we're doing okay.
Mhm,
We'll kind of moderate with how this goes. But like this morning, I got up and I had 2 bananas because
mhm.
that's what was here, and I didn't have oatmeal.
I had a piece of toast with my mom.
On the boat, I was eating oatmeal with all the berries. So
Oh
I
my
go
god.
there, and they give me 2 big scoops in this giant bowl, like, for all of us oatmeal lovers. It's just great.
Mhm,
And you can get brown sugar, cinnamon,
mhm.
raisins. They have blueberries. I get double blueberries, and
And
then I
then
walk over.
she goes to where they have the grab and go because they have these little containers they call grab and go, and they have this one container that's like it has yogurt in it. Is that the part you don't eat? Is that white yogurty
So
stuff?
it's like a
But
big,
it's all
it's
berries in
like
there. It's just covered with.
more than half the container is berries. And so I'd asked them before, can they fix me just a berry container? And they're like, just take this. They're already made up. We don't do them right here. They do them in the kitchen. And then I have like a cup and a half of
Because it's all
blackberries,
separate, so it's
blueberries,
not like.
strawberries, raspberries.
And so in the grab and go, it's
So I can
go.
pour it off, and then the
Yeah, because
yogurt just sticks. It's like a
yeah,
really thick Greek yogurt, so
and
I
it
don't
does,
use
and
that.
the berries are separate from the yogurt. It's like a one of those bento containers where there's a separate the compartment for everything.
Right. And so a lot of times too on the boat, and maybe this is kind of why we've kind of merged into eating the way we're eating. Like most of the time, when we get up, that's our biggest meal. It's often breakfast. So the last couple of times we were doing things, and then we're like, we got to get upstairs because at 11:30 it changed, the oatmeal place change and toast place changes
To the
into to
salad
the
place.
salad place. So I need to get my oatmeal because that's what I wanted. And so today I ate my bananas, you ate your toast,
I
and
had some
then
tomato juice.
what, around
11:30
2?
or
No, it
12.
was later. It was like 1:30 or
Oh yeah,
2.
I guess it was because it was.
We ate our tofu hibachi.
Mhm,
We were just looking in Happy Cow, and then I went ahead and looked, and I found this place. I'm like, she loves tofu
I
hibachi.
do.
Um, oh, okay, well, let's see. Oh no, Terry, what happened? Miss Terry says my vanilla ice cream was not good.
She said she used walnuts that weren't good.
Oh, okay.
Ye-
You can start. I would recommend, any, if you're using nuts to make non-dairy milk ice cream, anything like that, and you're not using them on a regular basis, because I don't always, right? Storing them in the fridge or freezer extends their life because they do have oils, and oils can go rancid.
Mhm.
And rancid is such a hard word, but basically it just means the oils start tasting off.
And you know it when you, like, taste it
When you yeah,
instantly.
it just kind of coats your mouth weird, even if you take just a little piece.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing that I do when I go into my nut container, my backup nut container, like, because I have stuff in there that's really old and a lot of it lasts pretty good because where it is and all of that. My soy
Mm.
curls usually last pretty good as all.
Telling you.
Read the chat if you want to know why Cheryl's giggling. Um, but yeah, with nuts can be really, really, yeah, that's what happened.
Mhm.
Yeah. And a lot of people keep nuts in the freezer and some people don't. And it just depends on your house. It depends on where you live
Mhm.
and all of those things. And Nikki says Florida's really represented on this live.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
sure is.
Y'all are awesome. Um,
Oh, we should ask Nikki, what's your favorite place to eat in the
oh,
area?
yeah. Nikki, give us some suggestions because a lot actually when I was looking today, I found a lot more than we ever have found
Mhm.
on Happy
Yeah,
Cow
and
by searching on going to Google Maps and searching vegan near me.
I
And
was excited to see that there was a kava in Ocala
a
now
kava
too.
just happened, and that's actually a good place.
Mhm.
I just really wanted some rice.
Yeah.
That was one thing I was missing from the past couple of weeks. Cheryl got at Lucky Lotus on the boat a Buddhist feast with rice, and
Mhm.
I got the gluten-free vegetable noodles that were kind of spicy. And
She didn't think that the Buddhist feast had much flavor, but I
well, the
thought it was
time I got
perfect.
it,
I
so
thought it was perfect, so
we ate there over 2 weeks, like 5 times, and so the one time I decided I was getting the Buddhist feast, it was not very good, and you said it wasn't very good that time.
yeah, no, that one day, everything was off that one day, and I almost didn't wanna go back because it was off that much.
And this is a great question. Elizabeth's saying, do they have baked potatoes on the Virgin Voyages buffet? They don't have a buffet and
Mm,
they don't have baked
mm.
potatoes. Now, often on the buffet, so not the buffet, the galley.
It's
So
like a food court.
it's like a food court. So, like, a couple of the places are open for breakfast and lunch only, like the taco burrito place.
Mhm.
And I think yeah, I think the taco place is a little bit of a wash for us. Although
Well,
they
no,
did
they did have that
vegan
vegan,
Benedict.
Benedict that was really interesting. So what they did was they took an English muffin and they made, like, this, tiny, tiny chopped up pumpkin,
Cooked pumpkin.
cooked pumpkin, and it was chopped in little it almost looked like carrots, the way they cut it, like the little carrots that you get when you get peas and carrots mixed together.
Mhm.
And so then they put that like it was like where you
Well,
put
there
the
was an
meat,
English muffin, then you would put that,
that,
then you put the tofu.
and then they had tofu that they set on top of that to be like the egg. And then they put this homemade, like,
Vegan
vegan
hollandaise.
hollandaise sauce that was pretty good. It was thicker than a hollandaise sauce. It was almost like you would do like a cashew cheese
It
or
was a
something.
little thick. Some of
It was thick,
they
but
tried
it was
and it
tasty,
was
and I mean,
good.
I appreciated them even trying that.
And I'd already got my oatmeal when she said they had one. Um, but yeah, okay. So sometimes, and that's not every time. They change. They always have a spinach Benedict.
Yeah.
You could always get that. Well, I mean, actually, that's I wouldn't do that.
They do have potatoes at the breakfast
Okay,
place.
let's talk around so they
Okay.
can kind of see. So if we're on this one thing, you're passing the champagne section where there's some paletas, and there's a vegan chocolate banana one. It costs extra if you want to get champagne poured over it, but it's free if you don't. Um, it's cute and bougie,
It
and
is
it looks really
bougie.
good in there. And so then when you go past there, there's a noodle place, and they have well, it's not a ramen, it's an udon noodle,
Mhm.
miso broth, vegan. And so the things on these menus are marked if they're VV vegan or V vegetarian.
Mhm.
And then you go down one more and there's like a grilled sandwich place. I have heard, I did not ask, I have heard people say that they were able to there's a vegetable sandwich and they asked them to leave off the cheese and someone asked if they wanted vegan cheese, but I have not confirmed that.
Mhm.
But they do have avocado toast.
Mhm.
So you can get avocado toast
And they
there.
had peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, and you can get a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich and that
Or you can get it ungrilled too, because I had mine ungrilled.
yeah. I think grilled. See, I was gonna say a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich sounds like a decadent holiday food
Mhm.
because they're not like layering it in butter and putting it on like a diner grill. It's they've got panini presses.
One night at the diner, they had like new potato kind of things.
Can we go
Oh, yeah,
through
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Why don't you talk about the diner part now? So the diner is open 24 hours, I think, or pretty close.
Mm.
And so they serve breakfast foods in the morning. They serve some different stuff at lunch and different stuff at dinner.
Mhm.
They always have something meaty. Sometimes they have something vegan or vegetarian.
Which
They
is usually Indian food based.
Indian, yeah, they have a few other things too. So often when I did get rice, I would get rice from there.
Mhm.
They didn't have it consistent. I couldn't just go, "Oh, I'm gonna go get some rice, Elizabeth," like we would be like on Celebrity. We're like, "Oh, let's go get our potato and let's get our
Mhm.
steamed vegetables."
Yeah, we were more consistent. You could more consistently know what you would get at the salad place.
Yeah. And see, now that we're talking about the place you've wanted to talk about, you're moving.
Well, there wasn't much to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had a really good chickpea curry.
Yeah.
Um, there was some,
I had mixed vegetables and rice one night.
yeah, and on the breakfast, they have hash browns, but it's not. They're like the icky,
They have
oily
vegan
kind.
sausage. But it's basically the same thing like you would get in Razzle Dazzle. They have baked
You
beans,
can get baked beans, grilled
grilled
tomato,
tomato, vegan sausage,
toast.
toast.
But I would save your toast for where the oatmeal salad place is. And
Yeah.
then when you go past that, there's like breakfast sweetbreads and croissants and stuff.
And then sometimes they have breakfast sandwiches, but I never saw them have anything that was like a vegan breakfast sandwich. It was always like bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage,
yeah.
egg, and cheese or something like that.
Yeah, and they always have a vegan muffin. They may not always have it there. If they don't have it there, they have it on deck 7 at the coffee shop. Um, and then you go over to where usually the desserts are at in the evening, and they have an assortment of things like yogurt and overnight oats, which are vegan. They would have a chia pudding, which was vegan. They have other things which were not vegan.
And they had a lot of fruit.
And they
You
had a
could
lot
get
of
fruit
fruit.
plates and
They
stuff.
will give you a plate
Like a
of
plate.
chopped watermelon,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Bring it on."
Mhm.
And we did a lot of times we would go back and get some more fruit.
Mhm.
Um, and the fruit is out all day long too, so you can get the fruit at lunch, the fruit at dinner.
Mhm.
Like the oatmeals and stuff like that, all that turns in
And
at
then at 11 o'clock or something like that, is that
11:30 is when everything they change over, and noon is when it
yeah.
opens up again.
And then and then they go for lunch until 3 or 4.
Mhm.
And then the lunch stops, and then like 30 minutes later, then they have dinner set up, and everything changes over to whatever the dinner stuff is going to be. And usually the only thing that changes with that is the diner,
N
because the other two close.
next to it?
The taco place and
Yeah, those places are only open till
till
3.
3. Mhm.
So, and then like where the croissants and stuff are, those changed to focaccia breads, and they
Yeah.
did have a vegan one a couple of
Mhm.
times.
Mhm.
It's not consistent. And then where the desserts are, there are 2 vegan desserts. And the desserts are very like they had like I think it's an acai bowl or something that's like teeny, teeny, tiny, and there's like this little
Hmm.
crunchy chocolate thing that
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I think you would like. Um, and then the salad place, Well, there's also this. There's sushi. So there's always
Oh yeah, I
cucumber
forgot about
avocado
the
sushi
sushi.
that you can grab and go with a seaweed salad that's vegan. Sometimes they'll have a tofu teriyaki, but not usually. They
But
didn't.
we got very it was very confusing on this one because on the Valiant Lady, they would have the tofu teriyaki out like maybe a couple times at lunchtime with the sushi and stuff. They never had it out on Scarlet Lady in 2 weeks. But then when we asked somebody about when are you going to have it out, they directed you to go over to the salad place that they had the tofu teriyaki over there.
Yes, and it was different. So the salad place almost always has the quinoa spinach salad. Sometimes they'll swap that up, and they have a couple of daily salads. They have a daily soup. Occasionally that will be vegan. They had a rice noodle salad that looked really good. But I was eating so many rice noodles at dinner that I didn't get it. But the spinach, so it's like a little salad bar, and you can say, I want this, but I want you to add X, Y, and Z. So I get romaine added in, and they use a really big bowl. You can get extra vegetables added in with quinoa, tofu. They had a peanut sriracha dressing, or you could use a balsamic. Up to you. I did bring all of my powders, but I didn't really use them this
We had the
time.
pizza.
Yeah, we did put the, pepperoni spice
Mhm.
and, oat parmesan
That was good.
on the pizza, and it really did make a difference.
And the thing is too, we don't much like at home when we're on the cruise, we don't usually eat like 3 meals. We might like a lot of times we'd get up and go, "Oh, we need to hurry up and go downstairs before the breakfast goes away," and then we wouldn't eat again until dinner.
Yeah, so we kinda a
We
lot of
might have
times.
a snack of fruit or something, but most of the time we wouldn't even eat anything between
Right.
that and dinner.
And so we often kind of get into that. So whereas it may sound like we haven't eaten enough food, I don't know. I'll probably eat some of the salad tonight. I'm not very hungry. Um, but if I get hungry, we have stuff. So like it's easier than trying to make everything tonight because we're only at Cheryl's parents for a small amount of time. She's out playing bunco, so I feel less guilty.
Dad's watching TV,
So
whatever sport event is on
which
tonight.
is what they would do if we were here or not, but I try to make myself when we're here for a really short amount of time,
Yeah.
I don't want her to feel like I'm taking up too much of her kitchen because we've been coming a lot. So, okay, so I'm seeing some things. We're going back to the grilled PB&J. Um, Elizabeth was dreaming of peanut butter and fluff grilled. So it's marshmallow fluff, which
Mhm.
is often vegan.
Mhm.
It is not whole food plant based, no oil, but we are just talking off the cuff tonight. So hey, um, you can also use dandy marshmallows. So like in the air fryer, in the vegan cooking in your air fryer, I think is the name of my air fryer book. I have one where I put chocolate and marshmallows
Oh yeah, that
and
was
put
so
it
good.
and I made s'mores. Basically, I made a
Yeah.
s'mores sandwich
Mhm.
in the air fryer. We have a panini press. It would be fire in a panini press. Or if you did marshmallow fluff and peanut butter, maybe some banana in there. That
That
would be
kind of sounds
delicious.
good,
That
doesn't
would be
it?
delicious.
Mhm.
You could also throw it in a tortilla.
Oh yeah.
Use the crimpy thing that I won't buy and put that's their whole thing is you crimp your thing together and put it in the air fryer. You know, you can put a toothpick in there. That won't cost me $20. Cranky Kathy is in the building. But literally, since I saw it and I looked at the commercial, it comes up like every fourth ad. So I've seen that crimper thing enough for it to make me a little bit cranky. Um, yeah, it's like a marshmallow spread. Um, and it's probably an American thing, peanut butter and fluff sandwiches. I didn't grow up on that because I grew up in the South. You know what we ate? Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches.
With banana.
Yep.
My
Oh,
grandmother
I
put
meant
banana
instead of
on it.
peanut butter, I meant banana.
No,
And
my
then,
grandmother would put peanut butter, banana, and mayonnaise on
oh,
a
I had
sandwich.
straight banana mayonnaise sandwiches.
We put mayonnaise on everything in the South.
It's it's really hard. I have to make sure, like, once tomato season comes, because we eat tomato mayonnaise sandwich. I eat. She
I know.
won't. And
I'm just getting to where I like tomatoes when they're cut up little diced things. I don't want to push it
yeah,
to the sandwich thing yet.
and literally, like, tomatoes, like a nice juicy heirloom tomato on a piece of bread. Sometimes even I'll just chop them up and toss them with a little bit of balsamic, and I'm super happy. But I'll make like either a silken tofu or an okara mayo,
Mhm.
not a whole food plant-based, no oil. So you can still have again, we're kind of coming full circle. You can still have a lot of those childhood flavors, just slightly done. Ooh, Apple used to eat peanut butter and pickles
Ooh, wow.
with onions and sauerkraut.
Oh,
And
wow.
you say you're a picky eater?
Wow.
If someone tried to give me that when I was a kid, I'd be like,
That is like stuff of my nightmares right
it is a little bit.
there. Please don't mix the two favorite things I love with the two favorite things I hate.
Uh, and Elizabeth says Trader Joe's has the mini marshmallows, and they're Dandies rebranded. Is all
Yeah.
those are. And those are good. And we got we were s- no, it was last year. We knew they were going to do s'mores
Mhm.
someplace, so we
At
got
that holiday thing at the
Ecam. No, it was at
oh,
Ecam.
it was at
It
Ecam,
was
yeah.
Ecam, and they had Dandy's giant marshmallows. I've saw them that one time and never before, and I got a bag, and that was exciting.
Mhm.
We don't do a lot of that, but I was like, "Ooh, now we can be like all the
I
other
used to
people."
like chocolate dipped
And
marshmallows
we
a
brought
lot.
chocolate too, because usually if you're at a non-vegan event, it's going to be Hershey's chocolate.
Mhm.
And I brought some gluten-free graham crackers or something. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
special.
you were
I'm
hooked.
special.
She was
I
all hooked
am.
up.
But, like, when we're on the celebrity cruise, like, and we don't have a drink package, that means the only tea is the tea out of the machine, which isn't
Yeah.
it's lemon, it's nasty.
She doesn't like it at all.
I'm Southern, I need a proper tea.
And I only had it once because I thought it was a little
She only had it
off.
once because every day I would go and make us fresh Earl
She
Grey
did.
tea with the tea bag
She
and
did.
pour it in the ice.
She did.
Or sometimes I would make a
And
thermos of it.
it was out there. I mean, it's not
'Cause you
like
get
you
the Earl Grey
it's
tea bags.
free. Y
The tea bags are free.
The hot water's right
I
there. All
will
you have to
make
do is just put it in
if you
there.
make a nice tea, it doesn't need any sweetener or anything, and it's just delightful.
Mhm.
Um, Welcome to Kathy's Tangent Tuesday that's on Motivational
Maybe
Monday.
we need to start Tangent Tuesdays.
Maybe See, this is what happens when we're trying to tell you all the things.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, let's hear about some good eats. Angela just ate the best salad. Spring mix with lots of cooked corn and peas, raw asparagus, raw cauliflower, cumin, curry, ginger, turmeric, basil, and onion, oregano, and apple cider vinegar. That
That sounds
sounds
like something you'd really like. Mm.
delightful.
Mm.
Delightful. And
A little bit too much raw things for
but
me.
we could steam the asparagus and cauliflower, and then you'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
I could see making all of that a little bit cooked with the spices,
Mm.
and then serving that over a salad and making I probably would use the spices, the curry, or use the garam masala and make a quick dressing with some I'd put some chickpeas in there, and
Ooh,
I'd use some of the
chickpeas.
aquafaba to make a no oil dressing
Why you gotta have the aquafaba?
because
Oh, to make it coat.
it'll make it like
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah. Uh,
no, not banana and mayonnaise together. I never could stand mayo or Miracle Whip. My parents would buy. I grew up a Miracle Whip girl, and I found when I was eating just mayo before I was making all my own stuff, that tasted most like Miracle Whip to me. Oh, I ate butter and sugar on white bread sandwiches with my grandmother. Yeah. You know, if you can get back close to depression era food or something around in there, you find things that where people were very inventive with what they have, which is kind of what we're trying to do to make things a little bit healthier. which is pretty awesome. Lydia says she's looking forward to summer to eat some good tomato sandwiches.
Oh, good.
Okay, awesome. And
Angela.
Angela's going to be on May 30th, and we're going to figure that out. And mayo is popular. Well, you're in Quebec, right? Don't you guys eat mayo with your fries? I think is a thing. And TS says butter and sugar on white Wonder bread. I had white Wonder. Well, actually, we didn't do white Wonder bread. We did with the girl. What was it? Is it
Little
Flowers
Bakery?
That was our white bread. Elizabeth says you guys got to get up to Elite on Celebrity so you can get unlimited teas and coffees.
We are deep blue extras on Virgin now, so we'll get
two
coffees
teas a day. I was drinking. What's really nice, they make their chai from tea leaves like I would at home, and it's really good.
It was a little too strong for me, even.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Ketchup and potato chips on Wonder Bread. That sounds pretty awesome.
That's all I always wanted was Wonder Bread. That's all we ever had when I was little.
Yeah, no, there weren't really. TS says I love Tangent Tuesday, especially when it's on a Monday. No, Tanya loves Tangent Tuesdays. And that just means tomorrow we'll need to have a Motivate Your Monday. Apple says, my mom is German and she used to mix spices into peanut butter to mimic pate flavors. Apple. That sounds delicious.
Huh. Interesting. I'm trying to think how you could use peanut butter to get a worst flavor, but
yeah, it would be kind of. I could see that because, like, when you make carrot dogs, there's some stuff you do. Yeah, you can. It's that kind of that.
Yeah,
it's weird. Sesame oil kind of gives that processed meat flavor to a carrot dog, which I think is bizarre since I don't get that feel from it on anything else. Yeah, congrats to getting Deep Blue Extra. So for those of you who are like, what is she talking about with Elite and everything? So when you fly on a certain airline, sometimes
like
you get
loyalty.
perks.
It's like loyalty points.
So Virgin was the easier one to get stuff. So in the fifth trip, we get things, and so like the last two trips we had plain blue extras instead of deep blue extras. So we got one coffee or tea a day
and a bag of laundry
at the specialty restaurant. They still had tea bags and coffee up in the galley, so it's not like they make
and they don't charge. You don't have to have a drink package or anything on Virgin because sodas and water and
so you can
coffee
get
and
tea
and all that stuff is
out of the soda machine. You can also in your room on Virgin, and this is the only one, they actually give you carafes of still water and sparkling water every day. So, and they everywhere on the ship, there's either a place to fill up a water bottle or that has fruit water all day long. So, like at MSC, I felt like they were trying to dehydrate us. So Celebrity, it was pretty easy to get water, but we still had to get it mostly in the buffet. So we actually, wasn't it there that did we get water there? We bought water there.
Yeah, because I was like, I will never be without water again.
It was a little rough on MSC. I'm like, and then at dinner, they give you these tiny little glasses that should be for juice. Okay,
so when we went on Celebrity, I ordered six San Pellegrinos or whatever they were, and just had them put in the fridge in the room.
Yeah, and so it's interesting.
Or 12. Actually, I got 12, didn't I? It was like 12, I think.
I think so. And so anyhow, and we get a bag of laundry each because we each have deep blue extras. It's not just for the room. So this past time we did 2 trips and we did 3 bags of laundry. that didn't cost us anything.
Mhm.
So we think it's going to help us travel a little lighter.
Yeah, definitely gonna be able to travel lighter doing that.
And when we go away for the summer, Cunard, while we have zero status with Cunard, they actually have a free laundry.
Yeah.
So
You
we
just
can.
have to go down and do it yourself. And I can do that. I don't care. I like sitting there. I did it at a hotel one time. Remember that?
And see, she says that. I'm like, I'd leave it down there, go away, set an alarm, and
I'm
come
not leaving
back.
my clothes for some stranger to come in there and be moving stuff around or like being like, "Ooh, I like those. Let me take those."
See, I just don't think like that at all. I have when I've used a
You never
laundromat.
worked in a hotel. That's why.
No, I mean, I used to go to the coffee shop. I go put my stuff in, go to the coffee shop, then come
When I
back.
worked in the hotel, we get complaints all the time. Somebody be like, "My laundry got stolen."
Oh my goodness.
And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you because that was before the time of cameras everywhere. So I just watch for somebody at the pool deck in your t-shirt, I guess.
And see, I don't know. I've just never. Maybe my stuff isn't cool enough to be stolen.
Maybe, we
I.
don't have enough labels and stuff to
I
be
mean, it's
worried
not
about.
like I would be mad if like my kindness shirt disappeared, but honestly, I'd probably be like, well, it's worth getting another one for me not to sit in the laundry room. Like sitting in a, I think it's because,
I like it. It's just sit in there and read on my phone and
oh, Tanya says in university we had to sit with the other people to steal it. Nobody stole my stuff.
mhm.
Mm-mm. I didn't sit with it. So there's something about sitting in a laundromat that makes me really feel depressed. This
Now,
is
if it's
why
a
I don't.
big laundromat, like a commercial laundromat, like I don't like those. I don't like those at all. But like a small hotel laundromat where there's just like two or three machines and a few chairs to sit at, I make friends. There's just it's not that big a deal.
And I mean, I can sit and read, but it just, yeah, I get too antsy. I get too antsy. It's usually hot. It's loud. It's all the things I don't like. It
Yeah.
really overwhelms me. Um,
I usually get a lot of exercise guys keep going back and forth for quarters. So I'm hoping some of these machines on some of these other places will have like
Cunard is
the
just
kind that you put
free.
the cart.
Cunard is
Oh, it's just
free.
free.
It's
Yeah,
just free, and
that's
that
good.
so we'll be on Virgin and Cunard. So Virgin will do our laundry, and then Cunard we don't.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Tanya finds it depressing too, but more depressing when all your clothes are gone. It's so fun. There are times, speaking of kind of motivation and positivity and stuff, a lot of times I tend to have a little more positive attitude or a little more hope for humanity. It's not always a good thing. But laundry wise, evidently I've come out on the good end of it. Oh, that's awesome. I love this. Apple pretends she's in a 1980s music video when in a laundromat. That's really good.
I always got lucky. Like I never had to really spend a lot of time in a laundromat myself because when I left home, like about a year after I was out on my own, mom and dad got new washer and dryer. And so I got the old washer and dryer. And so that just kind of went with me from apartment to apartment
And see, I didn't have a washer and dryer, something
until
that was.
it died. And then they were getting another new one. And so then I would get their hand me down.
Can't complain about that.
Mm-mm.
Um, I thought I had arrived when I came back to New Orleans the second time from Arizona because I had an apartment with, or half a duplex with a little washer and dryer in there, and I was like, yeah. Oh, I just saw a bunny run across the golf course.
Oh,
That's
did
why I
you?
was like, if you're, um, yeah, and that's when I was all single and stuff. So my single way of doing laundry was just to put everything in. It was my laundry basket, and when it was full, I would wash it.
That's how you still do laundry.
It is.
Except I do it.
You do the
Just
laundry
shove it in the
now.
basket and then it gets done.
That it is true, but like it's
I
fun.
like doing
But
laundry.
also, you're
I did
always like,
laundry all day today.
you're like, oh, I've got to separate it. I've got to do all this stuff, and I'm like,
Well, and I
there's a few things
I
that I will
didn't
keep
today
it.
and look what happened. Your beach cover up.
I didn't put it in the dirty clothes bag. I did not put that in the
It
dirty
was in the
clothes.
dirty clothes. It was in the dirty
You
clothes
put it in
suitcase.
the dirty clothes suitcase.
I don't know.
You did because I didn't. Yeah, stealing somebody's. Oh
Oh,
no,
that's terrible.
that is horrible. And if that happened to me, then I would sit with it. Absolutely. I can't believe someone would steal your bedding. That is just terrible.
Yeah.
Tia says if you spot an alligator going across the course, we don't. I guess
There's
there
no.
is water over there, isn't there, or no?
I don't think there's any water. Like, I think the water's further
Further
that
that way.
mountain. Yeah, I don't think there's any
Okay.
water right here.
That is really
This is just a
mean.
fairway right here. Oh no, ask Dad. There's no water over here, right? Like, we wouldn't see an alligator like walking out here, right?
In your backyard? No. Okay, people are saying, show us if there's an alligator, because I just saw a bunny.
The pond is on the other side of those houses.
Okay.
There's no alligators in there unless somebody put one in today.
Okay.
Cheryl's dad says there are no alligators in the water unless someone put one in today.
It's just a big mud puddle.
It's a big
It's a
mud
big
puddle.
mud puddle. That's awesome. I'm sad. Now I'm really sad hearing all these stories about people stealing your personal clothes. Yeah, that's disheartening. I tend to just kind of a lot of times just kind of go along and just go do 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 do, and things kind of work out.
I
But
did have a comforter stolen once out of a laundromat. Now that I think about it.
really,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mm-mm. But you know, when I would go to a laundromat, I probably looked like such a disheveled person. Like you see how I dress all the time when I'm choosing my own clothes. Like when I'm down to like the worst,
Mm-hmm.
I think people feel too sad for me to try and steal anything. So
He's already back into the sports.
He's
He
back.
just went to the refrigerator and went back to the other room.
Well, I'm gonna get some water. Why don't you start the Motivate Your Monday since we've been doing
You get me some
Tangent Tuesday.
ice and water too?
It was 25 years ago. I know, but still, it makes my heart hurt.
Yeah.
It makes my heart hurt a little bit.
So we started to talk a little bit about this, but I wanted to know what kind of wins people were having because I've had some great wins in the past few weeks. Funny story, we went snorkeling with the turtles. Sea turtles. And we actually have I'm going to do like a highlight reel of all the things that we did and there I actually have video of the little turtles swimming up in front of me and it's really cute. But while we were swimming, my pants kept almost falling off, like my swim bottoms. And so when I got out of the water, then I was having to walk and hold the sides of my pants up all the way back to the boat, which if you've ever been on a cruise, going down the pier can be very long. And so I had to walk holding my pants up the whole time. No, we're not done yet.
What you need? Can we get you something?
And then I realized that my pants were too big. So I had to order new shorts, new swim shorts in a smaller size. So that was like a huge win for me. And then on the way to mom and dad's house, we stopped because I wanted to go buy Under Armour and see if they had some of these little lightweight pant things that I've been wearing. And we went into Under Armour and they didn't have exactly what I had, but they had some other stuff on sale. And they didn't have the size that I thought I needed. And Kathy was like, she was like, just go try it on. And I was like, no, that's never going to fit me. There's no way that I can wear an XL. There's just no way. I have to have a 2X. And she was like, no, just go try it on. Try it on. And I was like, I don't know. And then finally she was like, go try it on. So I took like 3 different styles of pants in there with me. I took men's because usually they run a little bit bigger and they're cut a little bit different and they fit me a little bit better. And then I took the women's ones that were like half the price of the other ones. So, and who would have known? But I was able to wear actually the women's a size smaller than I normally do and they fit just perfect. and fine, and I was able to get a size smaller again. So I've had like those 2 wins for me that I actually went down a pant size. Um, I probably have gone down a shirt size too, but I still like my shirts a little baggy, so I'm still wearing a little bit bigger size in my shirts because I don't like stuff clingy. I get all weird if stuff's clingy. But yeah, so making huge progress. I definitely am not gaining weight on cruises for sure. Um, I've kind of gotten like it's funny like this the past doing the back to back it was kind of like well I live here and so I ate more like I would at home. Like I only ate when I was hungry. I didn't go, "Oh, there's something I don't ever get and get that." And so yeah, I didn't eat a lot of junk and I didn't eat like constantly, so I've kind of got it figured out, I think. And then when we did more excursions this time than we normally do, and by doing more excursions, also by default, we were moving a little bit more. So that's good. And then Kathy had me going up the steps, not just down the steps. So we would go up a few flights of stairs too, which I had not been doing on other cruises. Um, but I feel good enough and strong enough now that going up, 2, 3 flights wasn't a big deal. So
Well, we did 2 the first cruise.
to the first cruise, yeah. So on the first cruise, we did 2 flights of steps. That was our maximum was 2 flights of steps. And then on the next one, we added 3. But then there was a couple times didn't we do 4?
Mhm.
So there was a few 4s thrown in there too. So I don't know. I just felt pretty good, and I'm feeling much better. And I feel much healthier than I have in a while. So those are my wins, and I'd like to hear what some of your wins are. Let's see. And TS says, I think this is a very nice motivational Monday. Listening to your travel fun in the chat is motivating to me. Oh, that was nice. Thank you. Let's see. And Video 1000 Nights says, is it hard to not eat a lot on the cruise? It would be really hard for me. Well, I think that all kind of depends on what kind of cruise you're on. So I think being a picky eater kind of lends to me not eating as much sometimes too. But even like when we would go when there was a buffet, um, I would always try to limit, you know, how much extra I was eating because we always laughed that it's like, and Elizabeth and I would laugh about having second dinner by going to the buffet after we had dinner just to go back up there and see what that was there and maybe have another little snack. But I don't think we ever overdid it. Like we didn't eat that much at dinner. And so going up and having some salad and stuff after dinner or potatoes or something like that or fruit was not a big deal, right? I mean, it's just really not that big of a deal. I think there's the potential to eat a lot on cruises. Like
A lot of people do.
a lot of people do. Like I watch people on some of these cruises just mow through food. Like, I mean, we were laughing about this, but to give you an example, if you're on a cruise and it's seafood night in the buffet, just maybe pass it by because it is like people lose their minds, and I can see where people overeat on a cruise in a night like that because like I saw people they had steak and lobster and like shrimp and things like this and crab, lots of crab, and I would see people with these plates and they would put like 2 big huge chunks of like full steaks, like 2 steaks on their plate and then pile the rest up with like crab legs and stuff and then just and they're just going back and getting more and more and more. And so I can see where it would be hard. And I think the important thing that you have to do is you have to listen to your, your stomach receptors. When it says, hey, I'm kind of full, You need to stop. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned doing the McDougall program was I learned how to listen to no, come on over. And people probably would really like to see that. And so I learned how to listen to myself
My
being.
dinner. Sorry.
It smells really good. And that's the spicy one though, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so listening to when I'm full has been a huge thing for me. And also I don't deny myself anything. So if I see a sweet treat that I want, I have some of that. I probably won't eat the whole thing. I will probably just eat a few bites just to have it. And I think I kind of learned that from Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, as she put on here, so proud of her. Her big win is she's in large shirts now. And she's got some extra large, so you can
Okay.
if you're interested, Kathy will take them, yeah, for
She'll
sure.
probably take them.
And I have her 2X's, so you can have her X. So yeah, I just feel like not denying yourself, and then also listening to when you're full.
Well, I think kind of also on a cruise, some lines are easier to eat well and moderate on than others. So if you look at the test kitchen video, we had 5 courses, very small. So some people don't like it, but so like for me, and like the celebrity buffet, I like to taste a little bit of everything. And so that makes it, oh, Jenny, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. We really appreciate that.
Thanks for the super chat. It's very sweet of you.
Yeah.
Kind of getting, so I felt like from that, it was so treaty, but honestly, we ate there
5 times.
And even at Pink Agave, or even at
This is basically our food for 2 weeks. 5 times at Test Kitchen, 5 times at Razzle Dazzle,
and like
4 times at Pink Agave.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3 places we ate at.
And we could have eaten at other ones. It's just they're not our favorites. It doesn't have we'd have to piece together things more, and it just you feel like you're going to this fun fancy restaurant. And Test Kitchen, it really felt like they were family.
Yeah, the Test Kitchen just, it felt like you were going to your neighborhood restaurant and hanging out with your favorite waiters and waitresses. You know, it's like you're only supposed to be able to go there twice. Or you can 3 times.
You can reserve twice.
You can reserve
and
twice.
You have to go on standby, but a lot of people cancel. Every day there's an excursion or something. So it's very easy to get in.
But every time we went to Test Kitchen, they were like, we'll make room for you.
Well,
so it was really nice.
We made friends with them. So one thing too, I want to talk, apples is awesome. In the last few weeks, I've been able to walk a bit with the support of a rollator, I think is what it's called. I can take that instead of my wheelchair to the local veg market. And that's fantastic. Amazing.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Is that something you worked up to, or you're just feeling better? I don't know a lot about that, but that's fantastic to be able to have some mobility, especially while things are changing, from winter to spring and going to the veg market. I'm so excited for you. Summer says, I'm eating a lot more fruit and salads in the past few days. And salads can be super fun. This is my fun vacation salad. But it's mostly like
you could smell the heat in that thing. I can smell
it's not that spicy to me.
But I can smell it.
It's a taco salad. From the Leguminati.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing is sometimes you can go to a place where you could be super naughty and you could healthy it up a little bit so that you can
we could have got wraps again.
Or
we could have got nachos. But we chose salads because that was the smart thing to do.
that would make us feel better. So going back a little bit to the cruise food too. So every time we left Test Kitchen, we we were in a good mood.
Mm-hmm.
We were not over full.
Mm-mm.
A couple of times we were a little hungry still, so we
Yeah.
could go and have a salad or something if we
Yeah.
needed to. But we got to have this long experience, like entertainment, taste a lot of flavors.
Mm-hmm.
But there weren't a lot of calories because everything's so small.
And we felt good enough that when we left there, like we had enough room that if we wanted to get like a scoop of sorbet, we got a scoop of sorbet and we didn't think twice about it because it
Mhm.
wasn't going to put us over the top.
Mhm.
Like, you know how sometimes when you have a meal and then you're eating and you're like, oh, this is really good. And then you're like, seeing your plate still got some stuff and you feel like you got to be the clean plate club. And then once you do the clean plate club, then you go, I shouldn't have done that. Because then you realize, oh, this is just too much. And I shouldn't have done that. That's the thing that we don't let ourselves get to. And just by the nature of the way the portions are served on Virgin, we don't get there. And I think that was the same way too on Celebrity. I felt like the portions were,
Except at that tasting
at
menu.
the tasting menu, they were ridiculous. But
They were huge. And we were expecting
that was-
Test Kitchen,
yeah,
and we got a
full-
regular restaurant.
Yeah. So if those would have been like, if we would have just got one of those entrees and that was it and it stopped there, we would have been fine. But the fact that there were two more after that plus a dessert, we were like, no more. Like, we felt
Overfull.
overfull.
I had indigestion
Mhm.
even. I just usually it starts and it gets a little smaller. And this one got bigger. And we would know for next time. Next time we would do things I would do things a little differently. I would not, because like usually in a tasting, I feel like I want to eat. Like at Test Kitchen, I'm going to eat all of the stuff because I know it's going to add up to, about a 7 out of a 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of doing that. Now I know if there's something I don't love, I'm going to just kind of
Yeah.
not
And
do it.
you know, we all grew up having to clean our plates. And the thing is, we don't have to. We're adults. If you choose not to clean your plate, that is your own business and nobody should tell you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to leave food on your plate. My mom used to say, there's kids starving in China and you're leaving food on your plate. And I'd be like, send it to them.
I just saw a TikTok that says, well, why don't you put it in an envelope? Got an envelope?
So it's like, you don't have to do that anymore, right? You can leave food on your plate. And even now, if my mom was here right now, she'd be saying, yeah, leave food on your plate. Because she knows now that, it's okay to leave food on your plate.
Right. And Naomi said at MSC on the holistic cruise got the spa package. So we got clean filtered water every day. We got the spa package and we did fill up our water down in the spa quite often.
Yeah.
It just like if you go anywhere, it just with like even at dinner, those
I'm
little
sorry.
cups,
The tiny cups. I
the
can't
tiny
get over
cups
the tiny
and the fact
cups.
they were too busy to refill.
Yeah.
Like that's what was hard.
Mhm.
But anyhow,
Yeah. And Apple
and we
again.
we miss seeing you too.
Yeah. And Apple again. That is so great.
Yeah. Okay.
High five all around from everybody to Apple.
Yeah.
All right. TS says there's no real places around here to eat whole food plant based. One all vegan place called Loving Hut is not too far. They have the best pho and spring rolls. Yeah, there's Loving Hut is like
It's a chain.
It's a chain. It's all over. And they usually have pretty good options. So if you're someplace on a trip, like we had an option of a Loving Hut yesterday because we kind of looked and went, oh, there's a Loving Hut, but then we were like, oh, but there's this other place. So,
and it can be it is hard to eat out whole food, plant-based, no oil when you're traveling. Now, like the McDougall program, so lest you hear something different, you can usually go someplace. Like they also recommend going to a steakhouse because you can get a potato, you can get veggies. going to Thai, get a stir fry,
Mhm.
not to get the coconut stuff. That's what Cheryl
That's what
does.
I do. I get some vegetables that are stir fried in like this like brown sauce that has
Mhm.
like ginger and what else is in there? It's ginger and something else. The ginger is what makes it spicy, but there's
Mhm.
something else in there too. I can't remember what it is. But anyhow, they stir fry all that together, and then I get that with a side of rice, and mm, I love that. That's one of my favorite
In
things.
in a lot of Chinese restaurants, if you're being really strict, you can get steamed vegetables
They'll have what they
and
call the
rice.
diet menu at the
Mhm.
bottom of the menu. If you look, they'll have diet menu, and that's most of the time what they call it. And that's steamed everything. And they won't put any sauce or anything on it unless you ask them to. It's just steamed everything.
Right, and you could ask for if you do salt, you can ask for a little soy sauce, or you could even bring like a PB2 mixed with like some coconut aminos, or you could bring a
Mhm.
sauce as well if you can.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to do more dry mixes so you can have a little more of that in your purse.
Nikki says, I think portions in America are huge and excessive compared to servings in other countries. What do you think?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The whole supersized phenomenon, that's just an American thing. They don't they don't supersize it in other places
It's not
that we've
helpful
seen. That we've seen.
because we're trained to clean our plates, and now our plates are bigger. And one of the things that I like and hope is with Cheryl that we can share more things.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like we even talked about that
Well, we shared that
last night.
when we were in St. Croix. We shared those rice and beans.
Mhm. But so some things like that
Mhm.
wasn't a big portion though, but I'm thinking like we were even talking about the crunch wraps are really pretty big.
Yeah, and
Now, granted, the first night we ate the crunch wrap because
we hadn't had anything since in the morning.
so we were really hungry.
Mhm.
But then when we went back and had another one and had the salad, actually half of Cheryl's is in the fridge,
Mhm.
and I was like, we should have just split one.
Yeah.
But she likes the ones that aren't.
I like the ones that she doesn't
So
like.
that's a hard one. We can just heat things up. But I do think it causes a lot of problems. And I think on cruises in general that we've been on, because obviously, let's see, we've been on
MSC.
eight cruises so far. So it's still a small slice, but in
2 MSC, 2 Celebrity, and the rest
for
and
Virgin.
4 Virgin.
So Virgin is a little different anyhow,
Mm.
but in all of those in the main dining room in general, the servings are smaller and you can ask for another one.
Mhm.
So, and that's what's kind of cool. You get a little soup, you love that soup, you ask for another one.
Mhm.
And I like that much better. So that doesn't really work in a normal restaurant kind of thing. You can
Right.
get a small or a large,
Right.
often places. But I think that's what makes it kind of easier. I think there's a big difference if you're eating everything on the buffet. Like it's very easy for us to do lunch at the buffet.
Mhm.
When we were on Celebrity, I went to the spa cafe because they could make oatmeal without milk. They made it with apple cider and I could get berries there. So I went there every morning. Like I really like oatmeal. So that worked much better for me than going and getting some sauteed potatoes or something. Um, and so I just kind of avoided I think it's hard the more you're going to the buffet every single time
Mhm.
because you're seeing a whole bunch of different things and maybe you want to try all the things if that, going back to 1000 nights,
Mhm.
if that's a real issue. I think going to because you can eat breakfast in the main dining room too.
Mhm.
So you literally can sit there, order from a menu, have them bring you things, and they're going to be smaller portions. And
Mhm.
they will ask you if you would like another one, even
Yeah.
with oatmeal. I think it was on MSC. I was like, I want fruit, I want
Mhm.
oatmeal, I want tea, I wanted something else. So there were quite a few things we would get that would kind of I would try to eat a bigger breakfast there because we were having so much trouble on the buffet for lunch.
Yeah.
But on Celebrity, it was a little easier to get to the food, but also there was always salads. There was always baked potatoes and steamed vegetables there. So the first thing, if we were on a new cruise, the first thing we would do is scope out the buffet.
Yeah, we scope all that out first thing.
And I look around and I kind of make a game plan. I kind of see, are things labeled? Am I going to have to ask someone about them? You know, what's the deal with that? And once you're on one more than once, like Celebrity right now, I've been on 2 different boats. I kind of feel like they're always going to have a baked potato and steamed vegetables. And they have baked roasted, like giant sweet potatoes that they would try to cut me a little slice. I'm like this, like this. And that would be my dessert, is a big old hunk of sweet potato.
Yeah.
And so once I kind of knew what that was easy. With Virgin, it was a little harder the first couple of times. We were on shorter trips. Each boat can be different within a line. And Scarlet Lady didn't have the OPA hour labeled, whereas Valiant Lady did. So we actually had to help someone else who was vegan, because I'm like, no, we've seen these labeled before. But just kind of looking, like, even for that, like when we got on the boat, the very first time, OPA hour is in the deck, which is quiet and nice.
Dock.
The dock, that's it, the dock. I always think of being on the deck on the dock. And we could just have beet hummus. There's like a black bean baba ganoush with vegetables. I mean, it's exquisite. All that's free, and instead of going up into the buffet where every single person who's getting on the boat now, so that's going to be like 2,000 people, are
It's
going to
all trying to get up there, because none of the restaurants are open on Virgin for lunch when you board. So you either go to the galley or you go to the back to the OPA hour. And the OPA hour to me is the best.
And it's already on a cart. You just grab it, you go. And we've just brought our backpacks with us and sat there. And we were like, we'll just eat this and then we'll fight our way up the stairs. But I some of it you have to know yourself too. And if you fill your plate up with 12 things to taste and you're going to eat it all and you feel bad, then maybe you go and you take 1, 2, or 3 things. Little bites, come back. Like one of the things that Stacy and Elizabeth do is they eat a big salad first, or a potato and vegetables. Then they go back and taste little tastes when they're not hungry. Because it is much easier to overeat things when you're hungry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because then your mind is going, you need to eat. And you ever heard your eyes are bigger than your stomach? I think that's really true. I think that happens when we let ourselves get too hungry, and also when we go into something hungry and not thinking. That's what happens.
And the composting, I think, is a great way to get over not cleaning your plate.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great idea, you guys. Let's see. Vegana says it's a little hard to find strictly vegan places in Houston, although we have some really good ones. But what's really hard to find is whole food plant-based places. And that's everywhere, except for maybe Sacramento.
Sacramento, it was easy, like around in that area where Chef AJ and Tammy Kramer live. Was the first time I've ever seen things written
full menus that say whole food plant-based.
And then
no oil.
There's supposed to be a restaurant near DC or in Maryland that we didn't get to last time. We haven't decided what October travel is going to look like. If we're probably going to the ECAN thing, and if we do, we'll try and stop there.
Yeah. It's a little out of the way, but it'll be good. Good.
Yeah. And TS says it's a chain. One has some different options depending on who runs it. I find also, if you can find a Vietnamese restaurant, pho is really good. If you can find, most of them have it now labeled as vegan options, especially if they're kind of a little bit of a chain. And
they also will do like a vegetable stir fry.
there's all different kinds of stuff. You can get rice noodles with tofu and things like that.
Mhm.
Ethnic food is often a really good good
Mhm.
way to go. And vegana, I mean, yeah, whole food plant based, no oil is hard. And I think I get a little frustrated sometimes, even in Orlando, that there aren't more veg heavy instead of faux meat heavy
Mhm.
vegan restaurants. But some of the ones we used to go to, they're closed.
Mhm.
And that's so it's very hard for me to think about saying you need to take this big business risk when I think the opportunity is there. I know even in the villages, they have a vegan plant based club, but I think it's getting the word out there. And I think it's hard to get, it can be harder to get your non whole food plant based family to go with you. Whereas if it's like Pure Soul in Durham, they do have the Soul Bowl, which has black eyed peas, greens, rice,
Mhm.
and it's close. It's still got some oil in it, but it's whole food plant based.
Mhm.
And there's a kale salad, but most of the stuff is not.
Mhm.
And it's doing well. And I think it's doing well because other people can get food that's familiar to them. So it's
Right.
kind of this catch 22.
Mhm.
People can't start really liking the whole food plant based kind of centric foods if they're not tasting them.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, even on the holistic holiday, everything was not whole food, plant based, no oil.
Not at all.
There were oil free options for dinner, but not everything was no oil. In fact, there was quite a bit of oil flying around.
They had French fries on the
Every
holistic
day,
part of the buffet
every
every
day there
day.
was French fries, burgers.
And the thing is I would go to the vegan, they have just the vegan section on all MSC ships that has maybe 4 or 5 options. And I went there and got the dal and the Indian food every day.
Yeah, they have. That's
was
one thing
great.
I have to say about MSC is their Indian food is really good.
Oh, Apple says eons ago I worked at Starbucks and my coworkers and I wrote a letter of concern to the execs about the venti size. They responded, "Really? What did they say?" Because it still exists. I'm kind of glad it does because I get Cheryl that hibiscus tea in the venti size when we're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So we get unsweet teas.
Yeah, I forgot about it. We did. We didn't even get our own. We shared when we went to that place that I like over by the Moon Bakery.
Confiscos.
Confiscos. Yeah.
And like a lot of the
It was
theme
like
parks.
it was like a rice bowl kind of thing.
Well, at Pandora in Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney, you can get like a bowl. So there are some healthier options. There's probably not going to be perfect whole food plant-based options. Yeah, and Summer says I like a small amount of something really delicious rather than a big amount of something that's just okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we feel when we're on the Virgin voyages because the small amounts of like at the test kitchen are just really really delicious and it just makes such an impact when you taste it.
Well, and we have a good time. We are interacting with the wait staff and the managers, and like they come and describe everything. And even though we've had that menu before, it's still very fun and entertainment, like for us. Naomi said, I found it hard not to eat a lot on the cruise. I was so excited to be around all the people, and the holistic holiday food was available before whole SOS for yours was. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to translate this. Food available. Did they? Well, maybe it's that they did have whole food plant based SOS options, or at least oil free. I don't know if they had. They might have had salt free as well.
Yeah, I know for sure they had oil free because there would be a fine print on the menu that would say these are the things that you can get oil free. These are the things that are gluten free, oil free, like at the bottom of the menu.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying the buffet made me crazy, and I will tell you why. It's not. It's I loved that I could get rice. I could have rice for breakfast.
Mhm.
I got oatmeal and rice. There weren't a lot of vegetables, just like steamed vegetables or non-sauteed in oil vegetables on the holistic holiday cruise, and that was a little hard for me because I was thinking it was going to be a little more like Celebrity in that way. And the McDougalers, we were missing our I wish there
Potatoes.
was a baked potato. Like,
Yeah, there was no baked potato the whole entire cruise. There
mm-mm.
was not a single baked potato.
Excuse me, I think I have a piece of lettuce stuck in there.
That's what you get for eating on camera.
You see how much concern I have. Like, someone's going to go, ooh, you're nasty. You have a piece of lettuce stuck in your tooth. I'm going to go, yep. Yep. Jeremy's here. It's awesome to see Jeremy.
I love your new car. It was cute.
And Apple says Starbucks has responded with a lot of justifying and deflecting. Ooh, red lentil, yellow lentil. My win is really a woodchuck's win because now I can give my salad scraps to the woodchucks in my yard. Ooh, and you probably get to see them. That is awesome. I love that. Vegana says a lot of Vietnamese places in Houston still use animal-based broth in their pho, since that's tradition. Tofu and veggie options. I'm noticing we have a traditional Vietnamese restaurant in Greensboro. It's about an hour drive, and we drive because it's so delightful.
It's so good.
Their pho is, and just during, like, right near the end of the pandemic, we were going to Greensboro just to kind of get out and do stuff, just to have a trip. And we've stumbled upon it. And Jeremy's gone with us too. It's really just fabulous. The pho is huge. It's a vegetable broth, and they clearly label it. And that can be the hard thing, especially if you're in,
that's where we took Yin and Oz when they came.
And they really liked it. Jeremy ate there the other day, got the it's Pure Soul.
Pure Soul.
Yeah, and I mean, it's I don't know. I'm just not even going to go there.
I think, for me, I think Pure Soul, even though it tends to be a little bit more towards the, junk food side, I think they do a good job. I think they do a good job with having like options and things. Because you can pick the kale salad or you can pick the mac and cheese. That's on you, right?
The kale salad does have quite a decadent dressing.
It does have a decadent dressing on it.
And I know that sounds like a judgy statement. It's not. I eat it sometimes. It's more of like, for Cheryl, it was the first kale salad she would eat. So I'm like, yeah, bring on that dressing. So that, and Apple was saying, there's a YouTube channel of a guy's garden that films the groundhogs eating the veggie. I've seen that too. It's really, really cute. He plants a row for them.
That's cute.
Vegana says Venti exists. Then there's the Trenta, and I always forget about that because that's what we should be getting when we're driving for 10 hours.
Isn't that what I got the other day?
Is it? Maybe it was. I got you a giant one. I thought it was a Venti though.
Oh, maybe it was just a Venti. But you got me a big old, what was it? The hibiscus tea or
hibiscus
something?
tea. She's like tried hibiscus tea fairly recently and is obsessed. That's her go-to. Okay. Let's let everybody see your pretty face.
Sorry.
Elizabeth says there's a vegan Vietnamese place in Orlando called Veggie Garden. Ooh.
That sounds good.
That sounds really good. Miss Crab says, totally off topic. That's okay. We're having Tangent Tuesday on a Motivational Monday, so join along. Do you find soy milk is better when you boil the soybeans first? What I do, sometimes I soak my soybeans and sometimes I don't, depending on if I thought ahead or not. and then I put it in the Mia mat, which cooks it. So I don't cook the soybeans before I put them in the Mia mat. I find when you're talking about, and when you say soy milk is better, I am assuming, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that you mean that it doesn't have a beanie taste, it has a more favorable flavor, milder. I find that has to do with the cooking time. So when I had a soy Bella, the cooking time that's automatically programmed in there wasn't enough. So I would put it in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes. With the Mia mat, I find one cycle is plenty to take that beanie taste out. And if you just leave it there, it'll run a second time. So I've answered some questions on the Mia mat Facebook group, and almost every time people let it run a second time, they feel good about it. So does that help? If you want to give me some more details, I can see. Oh, Hydran says my resident woodchuck Mulberry, what a great name, made his first appearance yesterday. I got some video through the kitchen window. He was hungry. Ooh, I want to see that video.
Yeah, that
Send
sounds
it to
good.
us. We don't have
We love little animal videos.
we don't have woodchucks though.
Yo, we went and saw sloths. It was so awesome.
Mhm.
They are so cool.
And some people weren't going because you can't
You can't
hug
hold them
them anymore.
You can't hold them anymore.
And I'm just thinking, those poor sloths with like all these strange people touching them and holding them all the time. Of course, I'm gonna, when we actually got some T-shirts and hats while we're there to
Yeah,
help
to-
support the because it's a sanctuary, and the guides did a really
They did a great job.
and they would try and get, like, there was a sloth hanging here. We weren't really
And they put a little bench in front of him so you could get your picture taken with him in the
We
back,
didn't-
like in the background of you.
we didn't do that. I was too busy like taking all the pictures of the sloth. I just wanted to see sloths.
Yeah.
Like,
And there were a bunch of them because then there were some that were also out just in the trees of
and
the
there were
sanctuary.
two kind of cuddled up together.
Yeah.
And they moved a little faster than I thought because one was here and it was moving out of the picture. And we saw monkeys, and all of these are animals that are being rehabbed, or people who got pets that shouldn't have gotten pets that now can't be released back in the wild. So and there were parrots.
There were big macaws that had been either injured or surrendered, and like they're native to Honduras, but they were giant, and they were hilarious though, actually, too. Because there's this one, and he was kind of up in the top of the little tree, and the guy was like, come on, you want a cracker. And he would kind of be like shy and go, well, maybe I want a cracker, maybe I'll come down one step.
They were
And then
flirty.
he'd be flirty a little bit, and then be like, maybe I want that cracker.
I got some beautiful pictures of them.
They were beautiful birds.
And yeah, I agree with you. It's cruel letting people hold them, and that's why the law changed.
Yeah,
it's
they thought
sloths.
it was for the benefit of the animals, for their welfare, for people to not be doing that anymore. And they look really happy there, and even the monkeys were so like animated and
we
stuff.
didn't go in where the monkeys, like, we could feed the monkeys, but we weren't surrounded. We went in with the parrots,
but we had to like take our we had to take our glasses off and our hats and stuff, because they'll reach through and grab your glasses, and then they'll try to put them on.
Luckily that didn't happen for ours. And somebody says, I love sloth. I know. I just want it. And so now my next thing is a capybara. I need that. There's like a rescue capybara somewhere in North Carolina, like within an hour drive.
But then there's supposed to be that cafe here in Florida somewhere.
Yeah. And so I need to do a little research into that. They have capybara cafes in Japan. They have Japan.
They have everything.
When we go to Japan, whenever that is, it may only be animal videos and food.
It's true. All you're going to see is animals.
Oh, look, a puppy cafe. Oh, look, a sloth cafe. Oh, look. No, they don't have a sloth cafe. They have a capybara cafe, though, and cat cafes.
The funniest thing the guy said about the sloth, because they all look like they were smiling and squinting at you, and he was and one of the caretakers was like, he goes, I love these guys. They always look like they're stoned and happy to see you. And they did. When you look at them, they were all like, he was like, they
They
just
do.
look like they're high all day long. They just look like they're
Like that,
high.
right? I think that's a good sloth imitation. I
Yeah.
think I did well.
And they did. When he said that and I looked at him, I was like, you're right. They do all look like they're high all day.
And Vegana said that's what I do with the soy Bella. Going back to soy milk, run it a second time. And you could do that in any machine. If you're not making it in a machine, you could cook it longer. I tend to strain mine and then cook it a second time, but you do you. There's a multitude of ways, but usually it's about that. Vegana, on the tangent bandwagon, have you tried the Wellbeing Chocolate Muggin product? I have not. Obsessed with that chocolate muffin. Isn't it like bean flour or made with beans? Is it a mix or is it already a baked muffin? I'll go look at it. I know that Tammy Kramer loves them. And I was thinking about doing some copycat recipes because I have stuff that has beans in it and we could use bean flour too, but beans is really nice. Red lentil, yellow lentil, talking about the woodchucks. I had only the male herb last season. Now I have munchkin, which I assume is female, wanting to see if chucklings are result. I like that. And Miss Crab says, yes, soy milk with a milder flavor. I was reading there's an enzyme that I am not going to try and pronounce that makes soy milk beanie bitter that's deactivated by holding soy over 180 for 30 minutes. The Meomat cooks it for about 20 minutes, but then it's still not cool. It's not like it just cools. So what I do is I strain it while it's hot so that I can get to that Meomat and clean it up. And then it still takes another half hour for it to cool down enough for me to put in. So I think that 30 minutes is happening. Elizabeth says, got to take you to the alpaca farm in Claremont.
That sounds fun.
I like the alpaca. I like anything that's kind of furry that I can pet, or at least think about pet. Like, I wasn't trying to pet the parrot or the monkeys, although it was really cool to have the monkey put his whole paw. I felt it, like I thought, oh, he's just gonna grab the cracker. He like felt my hand.
He just took his whole hand and just went like that across their hand and took it.
It was lovely. It was like a little. I'm like, he brushed me. And Miss Crab says, I love the Meomat soy milk and wonder if there's a flavor difference.
It's nice to see you too.
I seem to have gotten so confused about when you ladies are available.
We don't ever know when we're available.
We are traveling a lot. Like this month, we're traveling 75%. We're only gone for like 10 or 12 days in May, 10 or 12 days in June. And then all heck will break loose again.
July and August
we'll be gone most of the time, and a little bit in September. Then we'll be back for a more regular scheduled program. And with us, we're just trying to see. That's why we went live a lot, kind of at odd times. We went live when we could have internet and things like that. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that.
We're trying to figure out a way. She's going to start doing some pre-recorded stuff for Kathy's Cooking Club. And
just for when we're just for July and August traveling. Yeah. So Kathy's Cooking Club will still be, I don't know, probably 80% live classes and a few, probably. And then a few put in. And Vegana says, going back to the well-being muffins, it's a black bean flour mix. Oh, we can totally do that because in Kathy's Cooking Club with the dehydrator, we dehydrated a number 10 can of black beans because I just wanted to see. You could cook the black beans and do it. I was doing a lot. And you could grind that into a flour. You could buy dried beans. You could probably buy black bean flour. Actually, I know you can buy granulated black beans and make that into a flour. On the muggins, it's a third of a cup dry mix, quarter cup plant milk. Oh, we can totally do that. I have some stuff like that.
Cool.
Aw, Jenny. I'm so glad that you guys are And if anybody else has not sounded off with your
win.
win,
What is your win? We want to know your wins.
and I guess while I'm waiting on other people, my win is going up more stairs. Just going up more stairs. So like every week I've been going up one more flight of stairs. And I know that sounds, for those of you who are like Angela level fitness, you're like, but I can walk 6 miles. No problem. No problem. Stairs are the things that give me the most trouble as far as like really pushing my heart rate. So I'm just trying to take it up little by little, and we'll probably keep adding to that. TS says, how are Fergus and Freya doing with you both gone? We have a house sitter turnover, and they're doing great. They're actually with a whole food plant-based friend of ours who's been doing a lot of traveling, so can house sit along with a lot of other people who are coming over and staying who live nearby. But
she said, she texted me and she was like, so they've got fresh water, they've got food, and they keep making me feel like there's something else. And she says, I've given them pets, I've given them treats, but they're trying to make me feel like I'm forgetting something else. And I said, no, they're just working you for more treats, so they're good.
But she said they're just coming up and loving on her.
Yeah.
They
Fergus
attention every day.
Yeah. Fergus will be mad at us when we first come home. He'll turn his head and not want to talk to us, or he won't even acknowledge us. He'll be on the cat tree just turning his head. And then Freya will come right up to us and like want all the pets, and when we start giving her all the pets, then he'll be like, okay, give me pets.
Yeah, because when he was a single cat, when he was a bachelor cat back in the day, he would take a couple of days to like,
yeah, he'd be like, no, I'm still mad at you.
Man,
we're not doing this. I'm still mad at you. Don't touch me. I'm
but with Freya, he's like, dang it, Freya.
He's like, why you give it in?
Freya's like,
don't give in, don't give in.
Well,
Freya's like, hey.
She's pretty mellow. She's like, hey, what's up? Like, she came from a hoarding situation, but she just is probably the most well-adjusted cat, except for the picking up. You can't lift her. She just goes, like her whole body stiffens up, and she goes,
and then like, she freaks out. And
well, no, and then you put her down, and then and then I immediately start. I'm trying to practice in case I need to emergency pick her up, like I used to do with some feral cats I used to take care of. So like, because if you can pick them up a little bit, then if you do need to do something, you can. So that's, but I try to torment her very, very little.
Yeah, she's good.
Red Lentil, Yellow Lentil says, thanks for the idea about grinding the dried black beans I get from Missouri Standard. Exactly. Usually I rehydrate them for refried beans, which is brilliant. And you can make sauces and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, you should be able to use that. I would have to look at the formulation and then play with it a couple of times. But I've baked a lot. Like in the Great Vegan Bean book, I did a lot with beans. So if you want to make it a dry mix, that would be great. You could probably also not make a dry mix, use beans, chocolate flour. You could probably, I have some recipes that are probably similar in the Great Vegan Bean book, and then freeze them and then just heat them up in the microwave too. Did I just go off of Do Not Disturb or something?
I don't know. Everything changed. This went dark from light, and this went from white to dark.
Oh, it changes because it's night.
Oh, okay.
I don't keep it dark all the time. Okay, back to you, Cheryl.
Okay, did everybody take a minute? Did we get everybody's win for this time period that we have not been together? It can be something from weeks ago if you wanted to talk about your win. And we will try very, very hard to next Monday. We probably can go live next Monday. We may be driving, but we can probably do something. I'm thinking.
If we're driving, maybe.
Oh, we might be home early though, remember?
Okay.
All right, we're going to try. We're going to try to shoot for next Monday again. And then for the times that we're traveling that we can't get internet, like on a Monday, what I'm going to try to do is maybe do some recorded messages, and then I will put those up in place of us going live. And hopefully you guys be okay with that. Or if you have some other ideas, email me at healthyslowcooking at the support at healthyslowcooking.com. And if you have some other ideas of what we can do to kind of get around this no internet situation while we're traveling. But I think probably for the next 3 weeks, possibly 4 weeks, we should be good for Mondays.
Okay.
So I think for the next month we should be okay. There may be the last one of like maybe the fourth week might be when we're traveling, but we'll see. But I'm gonna shoot for every Monday again because I miss you guys and I love talking to you and I love hearing what you're doing and what your wins are. And if you're working on something, Debbie, I know you're still working on trying to knock those pounds out so you can have that surgery. Just keep at it. Just keep at it. You've got this and you can do it. Let's see. All right. All right. And Penny says, I gave in after doing my organizing. She wanted me to get a cabinet. I finally did, and a friend installed it, and I'm moving stuff into it out of the way. Nice. Penny says, I also cleaned out the fridge. It all had to go and get fresh stuff. That's awesome. Cleaning the refrigerator can be really traumatic for some people. For Kathy, when it comes time to clean the refrigerator out, it's almost like she feels like she's done something bad that this stuff has to get thrown out. And so I always tell her, don't worry about it. But she's always like, oh, it's so wasteful. It's so wasteful. But the thing is, the way we eat, we're going to have some waste, right? I mean, it's just, you're going to have some waste. And you need to just clean out the fridge once in a while. And that can be a metaphor for a lot of things too, right? But yes, the Breville. The Breville gets so nasty sometimes. And honestly, I will do a video. I'll try to do that maybe in the next couple weeks of how I clean it. It's not spotless, but I kind of meticulously get in there. I actually use a razor blade, and you have to be extremely careful and you have to kind of have a gentle touch. But the stuff that gets caked on, sometimes I'll take a little razor blade and just kind of like I'll put a little cleaner on there to give it a little slide, and kind of like you would if you had paint on glass. And I kind of do that same thing. And then I take a razor blade and I just kind of scooch it along, and just kind of scooch it until the dried on stuff comes off. So I'll try to do a video of that so you guys can see how to do that. And Penny says she feels that way too, that she feels like that there's money in there that she spent. So, you got some money. Oh, mom's got bunko money, y'all. She did good. She was a sub today. So it looks like she did good. She's going to show her winnings to Kathy now. She left with $5 and came back with 15. That's awesome. All right, guys. Mom is home. We're going to run so we can spend some time with her before we get on the road again tomorrow. So it was lovely seeing everybody, and we will see you very, very soon. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Monday for sure. And look for us to go live on Wednesday on the Travel Channel if you're interested at all in theme parks. There's a brand new theme park that Universal has opened in Orlando, and we have preview tickets. So we're going to try to live stream for you so that you can see firsthand what that new park looks like. So we'll see you guys around, and take care of yourselves.